So basically for treatment and school-based accommodations, the treatment for SM is still there, right? You adapt it to that individual's developmental age and their more extreme needs. More sensory for sure. They're more picky eaters. They have more extreme in some of these areas, like you said, the motor delays. And then also the social engagement, which from Stephen Porges years ago, 2006-ish, so it's almost 20 years at this point. I visited him in the University of Chicago because I was intrigued by social engagement, because we saw it's not just about not speaking, right? But it's about social engagement, and individuals on the spectrum really, really struggle with social engagement. So the acts of stimulating social engagement, training parents to step back, practicing these skills in, less crowded, less overwhelming, less, noisy environments like the loud, large, lots of people, practicing handover, takeover, frontline, all the basic skill building or exposures that you do with SM without autism, it still works. I mean, that's what we do. But if they're obsessed with Thomas the Train, or they're obsessed with, I had a child recently obsessed with ceiling fans. So his I wasn't trying, you don't want to dismiss what their interests are, but if that's what took, that's his interest, right? We use that as a way to engage him with somebody.
Yeah, I just want to give you an example of one kid who came and he was drawing bones and bones and blood all the time. And the parents were concerned. And so he had a SAM, and of course, he had ASD. And what we did is through drawing, we went from bones and blood to a skeleton because he really wanted to study the human body. And we went and I got like models of skeleton, and he was learning about the different bones of the body. Then he built a skeleton, and then he looked at the other. So he branched out to other things to draw. And I think that's really important. Oliver Sacks is one of my mentors too. You are, but he was before in the area of ASD, and he always talked about we have to go where they are, and so does Temple Grandin also says that we have
Right.
to go
That's
where
that's
they are
absolutely true.
and bring them out of their world, but we really have to understand what they are. And I think that's why it's so important that we do the diagnosis, the differentiation, so that we can make a treatment plan, just like you said, SM, but taking into account all those other factors of ASD. So
No, I think this was just such a wonderful discussion, Vera. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I love working with you. I wish we lived in the same
yeah,
city.
like I said before, 2 years ago, maybe one day, I just want to say thank you so much. I think you're reaching out to parents, mainly parents and professionals in other places and countries. If you're listening to this, remember what we said, that it's really important for parents to be advocating for their children, starting from a pediatrician's visit.
Definitely.
Insist, because it takes pediatrician 2 years to recognize SM. They have to screen for ASD when the child is under 2, twice. They have to screen for ASD. And advocate for your child at school. Make sure that if you have SM, to not have an IEP based on just speech and language, because that's wrong. It should be included with anxiety disorder, which could be other health impaired. So make sure you consult our Shipon Bloom's website, and I'm available too for any questions. But you are the best person to advocate for your child, and do not be afraid to ask questions of the pediatrician or anybody who is treating your child. Thank
And here's something interesting. If it doesn't feel right, it's not right. So if you are talking to your pediatrician or your family doctor or your teachers or psychologists or anybody, any of the therapists, if it doesn't feel right, it's not. And I think that's validating for parents, because it should feel right. It should connect for you. You may not understand it all, but it should feel right. And you should use your treatment provider to guide you in this process, to help you, to hold your hand, because I understand as a parent how scary this is when you don't understand what to do and what the next steps are. And I think it's really, really important for parents to feel that support as they're going through it. And that's a huge part of what we offer and what I know you offer.